Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana is expected to give a media briefing this afternoon on the technical processes to be undertaken regarding the budget. His two deputies and Director General Dr. Duncan Pieterse will also be there. It follows a court challenge that the DA and EFF had brought to the Western Cape High Court against a proposed VAT increase in this budget. The court ratified an agreement reached a few days ago, allowing Godongwana to essentially rescind that increase, which was actually meant to take effect tomorrow. SABC News economics editor Tshepo Mongoai is watching developments and joins us now live from Pretoria. And Tshepo, we don't always hear from National Treasury in this way about the budget, but these are also unprecedented times.
Quite unprecedented indeed. We've never been here before. And of course, the big question is what is likely going to change? We know that the court ruling have actually thrown out the whole fiscal framework that was presented in February. So we're likely to see a completely new budget that is going to be presented. The question is, when exactly is this budget going to be presented? Hopefully the Minister will give us some guideline. Budget process is quite technical, especially from the National Treasury side. So is there going to be a deviation from the traditional process that usually involves the President as well as members of the executives who throw in some of their demands that they would like to see, and at the end of the day it's up to National Treasury who decides into what goes into the budget and what doesn't. So we know that it has to be an all-encompassing process, given that political parties have raised concerns on this budget process. But not only that, they've also highlighted some of the areas presented in the budget, including VAT and measures to address the budget creep due to inflation that were not going to be provided for during the budget. So the other issue again is some of the focus and projections that were made in the budget, are they really going to change? They said that debt is going to stabilize at around 76%. Budget deficit was going to come down to around 3.5% 2027. Are those projections going to be realized in this current environment? So hopefully there will be some clarity. But the most important one is areas where government can actually be able to raise the money that was going to be raised during the due to the increase in VAT. Do they have leeways and movement to make to ensure that they raise that money? We've told the figure of around 75 billion rand is what they need, but probably they will need much more going forward, given that they have to make provision for inflation in the medium term.
There's also been real questions about the credibility of National Treasury and, let's call it, the difficulty they've had in putting together a spending plan that can be accepted by a majority of Parliament and survive all these legal hurdles. I imagine those are questions that the Finance Minister and his team won't be able to avoid today.
Yeah, absolutely. The question is, it's never an easy task to accommodate everyone, and I don't think they will ever be able to do that. The question is, of course, they have to, and they must also bring in those who are not happy, like the concerns raised by political parties, including the DA, the EFF, or perhaps they have to find a way, a parliamentary process that will allow this process, the budget, to go through. So that's a big question, because it's never ever easy. We know with money, you will never ever make everyone happy. You only have so much money, but you will have a lot of needs and a lot of concerns that are raised. At the end of the day, National Treasury must act in the best interest of the country. But I don't see, and I don't think they will be able to address all the concerns.
So before we let you go, Tshepo, I mean, there's also so much around the litigation that's currently taking place in the Western Cape, including challenging the constitutionality of the VAT Act. In a way, Enoch Godongwana, in his capacity as the minister, is at the center of that. Questions around whether it is constitutionally sound to have a situation where a minister can make a unilateral decision about how much VAT should increase by.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I think the issue raised is Section 72 that empowers the Minister of Finance to act after presenting the budget. Now, what has been questioned is The minister, they said, should wait for the parliamentary approval of the budget before he can effect certain changes in the fiscal framework. There's been some precedent with the COVID when concessions, where the president made announcement and SARS was able to act with National Treasury even before the Parliament could actually give thumbs up to those amendments in the expenditure. So there are those questions that are being raised. Where does that put the minister? Should he wait? They say that legally he must wait. That's what was argued in the court, that he cannot effect any changes unless approved by Parliament. But in the past, we've seen that National Treasury could actually act and effect certain changes, even certain increases. It could be in grants or many other changes that we have seen even before the approvals of a parliamentary. So it is going to be quite interesting.